Protoss player known as Classic.
And on the bottom left, it is the newcomer, well, relatively newcomer, but recently showing great results. It is
Is
the
it
Korean
like
Protoss NightMare.
NightMare? Name 3 good results he's had recently.
He got top 8 at DreamHack Atlanta.
Got him.
He got top something at Homestar Cup.
Yeah, I'm sure he did.
And before that, I think he qualified for GSL Codes.
Did he? Okay. I mean, yeah, I don't know. Qualifying for GSL Codes, would you say that's a great result? Like, I mean, I don't want to. I mean, no regret
neither
has
of us
qualified.
managed to do it.
Yeah, but I mean, we have had people.
Are you throwing shade at no regret?
I'm not throwing shade at no regret, but maybe the fact that he has
You
qualified
just
3
did.
times, like, yeah, but that's fine. It's Jack. Like, I'm sure Jack understands. It's like 3 times qualified for a Code S, maybe 4.
Yeah. No, 3.
I'm just saying, would you go out and say no regret is known for his great results as of recently or something of the sorts, like you just said about NightMare on the back of a qualification to Code S?
Well, they say GSL is a preparation tournament, and he is the king of preparation.
That is very true.
Right? I mean, that's the only tournament he ever played where he had time to prepare.
No regret?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, he had to qualify for it. Did he prepare for the qualifiers?
Probably.
Because I'm not sure that the highlight was the GSL run so much as qualifying for the GSL.
Yeah, I don't think he won a single map in any of his runs.
Yeah, so that's
but
what I'm
still,
saying. Yeah. I don't know why you gotta throw shade like that. I was gonna keep the maps out of the question here, but it is what it is. NightMare gonna be blocking the expansion with a pylon here. Classic not doing the same on the other side just yet. Because the pylon is a little bit preemptive, right? Like there's not really the money for Classic to drop down a Nexus here anyway. Just wants to scout what comes out, and Classic gives away the stalkers.
Yeah, that was kind of a mistake. But at least he showed only 1 stalker, so it's possible that it could still be like stalker sentry, for example. NightMare doesn't know.
Yeah. And now the stalker's gonna kill a probe at least, so that's something.
Yeah. Classic does get a little bit faster base, kills a probe. So far, so good, I think.
Yeah,
follow-ups.
NightMare's looking for a wrap-up here, but instead it might be Classic that finds him, as he already has his 2 stalkers here together, and on the other side, I mean, it's going to be a 4v4. Who gets to fire first? NightMare holding very nice high grounds here, and they're just going to go past each other, like ships in the night, as Tasteless like to say. And let's see if that's going to be enough for Classic to put some damage here onto the natural expansion. NightMare's going to be doing the same, but a little bit later.
This is getting crazy, actually. Like, what happens here? Is one of them gonna have to recall? Is both of them gonna recall? None of them?
An interesting force field there to prevent some damage from the stalkers there. On the other side, a stalker also gets force fielded from NightMare, and that's a little bit more profitable of an exchange, as there's already a stalker there for him. Both sentries surviving with 1 HP.
This is almost comical how identical it is. Except I feel that NightMare took the better trade. He killed more stalkers.
Yeah, I think it was that force field, right? Because when NightMare force fields, he actually has a damage output of a sentry and a stalker against a stalker. When Classic force fields, he just has a sentry, which continues to trade with the stalker. So I think that's where he got a little bit ahead, even though Classic technically had the lead in terms of just starting the aggression a little bit sooner, right? So well done from NightMare here.
They actually ended up trading completely even. The only difference was that Classic had to recall his stalkers out. That's the only difference. And he is going to be going for a proxy Dark Shrine against a robo-less opener. So NightMare has no detection. 0.
That's really, really bad.
Why is that bad?
Because the DTs are like invisible units, right? So if you have no detection, you can't see them.
So would you say that NightMare is about to be dead here?
100%. There is just nothing that NightMare can do at this point. I feel like even if he drops a rover right now, it's going to be too late. And Classic is going to collect a quick and easy win, provided that he makes enough DTs. He's going to make 2. I think that's plenty.
What if he force fields the main? He spots his DT, force fields the main.
Oh, he spotted it early enough. Okay. If he evacuates every probe at the natural, there is yet hope. Gonna use the Stalkers even, so kind of budgeting his force fields. This is the best possible reaction that he could have had here. Spotting the DTs on the minimap without the DTs making any noise on the swiping. So he's alive.
Like, even still, he is gonna lose a Nexus, and he is gonna be far behind enough that he can't come back from this, right?
Surely, you would think so. He is taking another Nexus at the 3rd, but so is Classic.
It's almost comical.
Almost comical.
And unfortunate, really. I mean, I would be pretty upset if this is how I dropped the map in such an important tournament. Straight up dying to invisible men.
I feel like you would be aware, or a lot of players would be aware anyway, that that's a possibility as it's happening, right? Like it's like, okay, like I'm gonna delay my robo. You understand what could happen if you do, right? You're taking a risk that doesn't pay off. So I don't know. Would you be super sad? At some point, you have to cut some corners. You have to take some risks, right? And NightMare just deciding to do that in a bad situation, in a bad place. And Classic just showing how tricky he can be.
Indeed. And honestly, looking at this, comeback potential, I'm not sure. Really, he's behind economically. He does not have an upgrade advantage. He doesn't even have production advantage. He has nothing going in his way.
He has his own Dark Tempers being worked in on the other side, but there's already an Observer out and well positioned here for Classic, who is standing on neutral grounds. The probes will be pulled, so this DTs straight into their demise.
Yeah, I do wonder if this is the point where you tap out.
I do wonder.
Maybe in the latter game.
For sure. I mean, even now, I mean, he's making a shield battery. He's making double shield batteries at the 3rd. Adding additional gateways here. What are you hoping for? Yeah.
I'm not sure. I think, well, you definitely have to play defensively because you don't have an army advantage. And I'm guessing you're hoping that your defender's advantage is strong enough for you to hold on. So that's why he's spamming shield batteries. And maybe if he fights under all of those batteries, he thinks maybe he can win.
I mean, I think if you're Classic, you probably just hallucinated Scout. You can poke into the natural if you want. Kill the natural. You can take a 4th if you want. You can do just about anything, right? Like maybe the only thing is not attacking into those shield batteries. But even that, I think he can do.
Yeah, I think he can.
Yeah.
That's the worst part. And he killed the Observer. If he wants, he could snipe in DTs or warp in DTs.
I like this better from Classic. I mean, this is a safe route, right? Like, yeah, you could probably fight into those shield batteries, but why, right? Like, you can just fight into no shield batteries instead. The Archons do not target the probes or zealots there. Instead, they go after the pylon, but it's not gonna matter. The zealots are just being held position here in the back.
Oh, many zealots.
Yeah, Classic has breached. Stalkers being worked in the main base from NightMare, not what you want either, because they were isolated from the ones in the natural base, will now finally join in via Blink. But it's just way too much Classic here. Call the Beatles.
Why?
Call the Beatles. Too much Classics. Or I guess who would be a better representative of Classic? I guess classical musicist. Music.
Yeah, like Beethoven or something.
Beethoven. Who else?
Mozart.
Mozart. Yeah. Classic versus
Vivaldi.
NightMare. Who? Gaudi?
Vivaldi.
Vivaldi?
Yeah.
I don't even know Vivaldi. Not classical.
Really?
Enough. Yeah. What does he sing?
I only know like the Four Seasons.
How does it go? What?
You want me to beatbox an orchestra here, or
Are
what?
you incapable of replicating Vivaldi?
Yes,
I thought
think
you said you liked him.
a lot of people are.
A lot of people are incapable of replicating Vivaldi. Well, if I knew what he sounded like, I could give you that sound right now. But yeah. I mean, surely you can hum or something.
I don't remember how it goes.
Oh, I see. That's convenient.
Laser 2-0 versus Sue.
No surprise there. No surprise there. Mikolaj Onogowski, the hero of Katowice, best Polish player in the world. Is he? You were a little bit quiet there. He is, right?
Sorry, I was starting the lobby. Miko, yes, he is the highest ranked by points in Poland. And I think most people would agree that Laser is the strongest player coming out of Poland, even above Spirit.
I think so.
Those two for sure holding the top two.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe Mana in a close third.
And then you really drop, right?
Yeah. There was a time where Poland had like lots of good players coming out of it, really strong. Back when Nurcho was still playing as well.
Yeah. Even in Brood, where Poland was one of the strongest regions outside of Korea. It's always been strong. We called it Proland back then.
Proland.
Yeah.
Yeah, they've always been pretty big in esports. Just a big esports country in general.
Absolutely. All right, well, we are loaded up here, so more esports coming at you. In the bottom left-hand side, it is the Blue Protoss player, Klasic.
And on the top right, it is down 0-1, Protoss NightMare, who just scouted a Pylon Scout. Who just saw the Pylon Scout probe coming.
Mm-hmm. Just scouted the Pylon Scout. I like that.
Yeah, I do. Like, I actually wonder, why would you Pylon Scout in this situation? What are the benefits?
It's a very big map. I don't know, maybe he was thinking maybe there's a forge or like some sort of counter rush. I don't know of anything else really that you would get a big heads up on that you would want.
Indeed. I think, so from what I heard is maps with a ramp in PvP always warrant a 1 gate expand because you can hold just about anything. Mm-hmm. That's why it's the most optimal build. But the question is, are they going to go into a Stargate follow-up, which would also warrant a Phoenix Wars? But you can already start to see some variations. For example, NightMare still only on 1 gas, while Classic is on 2.
Yeah, NightMare's gonna drop his second gas now as he gets pylon blocked, but yeah, I personally like to think like the second gas should go down a little bit sooner if you anticipate a pylon block. So maybe he wasn't. Maybe he thought he was gonna be able to drop that Nexus a little bit faster, and Classic will have the advantage in terms of gas mine there as a result, right? So yeah.
Yeah. And then that will benefit him a lot if NightMare decides to go into Stargate himself. Because now you can see Stargate halfway done. NightMare still doesn't have a tech building. So it's really like they're just trading tech for eco here.
Yeah, NightMare might be about to drop something. It's a gateway at the front, so at this point Twilight Council is what I want to see, right? Like you want the Twilight Council to come out and maybe start preparing for Blink or something of the sorts. Also mining inefficiently for one of his gases. Main gas oversaturated, now fixed to saturate the main. And NightMare even being chased here by Classic.
That's interesting, like just a Stalker Zealot in the middle of the map. Mirror match. Does have to back off as the second Stalker comes. But yeah, it looks like NightMare's game plan is just gonna be a 4 gate, I think. started 3 gateways, and he's gonna make 1 proxy as well, I think.
Yeah, the Oracle's gonna force the Stalkers to turn around to fire at it, and that means the other Stalkers, the Stalkers of Classic, will be able to catch up and get pochos onto this Stalker until it potentially dies. Classic, of course, the leash. There was the HP of that Oracle, but as he turns the corner and goes up, there was just barely enough vision for Classic to snipe that last Stalker retreating. And so, yeah, good trades here from Classic, especially taking power away from this potential 4-gate that you were talking about. Or 3-gate in this case. Actually, it is a 4-gate on the other side.
Wow. Is he just dead?
It looks pretty dead to me.
Oh my god. Yeah, Classic is gonna run away, which he should be able to. Killed 2 probes. Got the full scouts.
Yeah, sees 3
I think
gateways.
that's exactly what's happening. He just needs a shield battery in the natural now, and he wins the game, I think.
I think
But
so
he's
too.
not.
Yeah, and there's 2 Oracles
There it
out
is.
on the map as well, I believe.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, the counter aggression is not necessary, but it's just going to be nails added to this coffin that NightMare sits on right now. As these Oracles can go in whenever they want. We'll probably kill 7 or 8 probes in that process.
I
Like you
like
said,
the
Classic
depths,
just has to
though.
pull.
I don't think he could break through the shield battery, but what he can do is shade past it and try to even the probe kill count.
Sheesh. No battery in the natural, so even more probes falling, not even any longer to the single or to the double Oracle shots, but just the single one. So the tally is up to 14 on the other side. 3 have fallen to the Adepts, and I agree with you that they are cute, they are good. They can bypass the defenses potentially, but also they don't add any firepower here, and there's a Void Ray on the way for Classic as well. 6 probes have fallen, but I mean a lot of more room to be worked on here, as 30 probes still remain for Classic to the 18 of NightMare.
Wow. This is a massacre on both sides, but I think Classic does win this convincingly. Kills 2 Stalkers with the Void Ray and gets away. Impeccable micro.
Impeccable micro. Gets away. And yeah, if you're NightMare, I think you're just done. I think I think there's nothing else to do here.
Maybe he'll do 1 more warp in, 1 more round of warp ins, and then that's his Hail Mary. But even if he warps in 3 more Stalkers, I think he's still behind in army value.
Oracle survives. Impeccable micro.
Indeed.
The Stalkers are gonna see more Stalkers up the ramp. They're gonna have to say, hey, that's more Stalkers than I have. There's a shield battery. You're up a ramp. You have a Void Ray. And reinforcing advantage, potentially Defender's advantage. They're coming in handy if it needs to. The Void Ray is not even gonna die. And if we don't see a GG in the, I was gonna say, I was about to disqualify him. We can do that, right?